Hello and welcome to the OK Takes podcast. I am Matt, and as always, I'm joined by my fellow cockle, Edward. As of 8:53 p.m. West Coast time, look, there's kind of some shitty news that happened in the NFL this week. And I mean, you've probably all heard about the Henry Ruggs situation, but it's really awful. And while we kind of make a point to never go into any of the things that happen in the NFL and sports in general that are too serious, this is one of those times where you just gotta kind of call out bullshit when you see it.
Yeah, this is just a horrible situation. Obviously, first of all, condolences to the family of the 23-year-old woman who was sadly killed in the wreck. Came out today that her dog was in the car with her. Also, the dog died. Very tragic. I hope that Henry Ruggs gets whatever help that he needs. I hope he can find a way to mentally heal, and just a really sad situation.
Because I mean, that's where we're at. So yes, obviously, I should have began this with the statement that yes, I hope who the woman that died, her dog, just got condolences to anybody and everybody that knew them. And for Henry Rose, like yeah, like nobody wants to wish upon him nothing but PTSD and trauma and turn him like possibly suicidal. It's not what a logical human being wants for him, but the logical human being, I feel like, kind of wants him to have punishment, to sit in jail for a lot, for whatever the appropriate amount of time is, and then kind of have to suffer for this, because this is like I phrase it as bullshit because it is probably one of the most unacceptable crimes imaginable. This is something that has nothing to do with poverty. This is something that's nothing to do really with like a troubled childhood. No, this is just somebody kind of being a reckless dick and driving 156 miles an hour, 3:30 a.m. Look, there is nothing good that happens at 3:30 a.m., let alone at any time of the day driving 156 miles an hour. And on top of that, being drunk. A
Being
0.160 PAC, I believe.
Yeah, I heard he was like 2 times over the legal limit. And you said nothing good happens at 3:30 a.m. I don't want to try and shed light on a bad situation, but there's a funny episode of How I Met Your Mother called Nothing Good Happens After 3 a.m. And it's like the whole episode, like a lot of stuff, they get like drunk and like do some stupid shit after 3 a.m. and it ends up hurting like a lot of their friends and stuff. So it's kind of some for a long time. That's true. Like, and it's not like he didn't have access to another way home. He could have Ubered home. So, it's like, obviously he deserves whatever punishment that comes to him, but also he's a person too, and he deserves whatever mental help and whatever he needs to better himself after something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always like justice needs to be served, but then you don't want him doing something reckless to himself or harming himself and
Mm-hmm.
making him turn his back on the world. But look, there are like it's just the way the world works. It's why there's law. It's why there's justice.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So on that very bright note, we have Thursday night football.
Jets Colts. Let's do this.
Yes.
there's no real good way to say it. We need to just go like Jets
Mm-hmm.
Colts.
Yeah, I mean, literally just gonna go in. Okay, Carson Wentz is back. I think. I don't know. I'm so fucking confused with Carson Wentz. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, like on one end, I want to think like, wow, this is the top draft pick guy. Like he's here. This is his coming back game. But then like it's the Jets. Like that's like always one thing to pull me back is like it's the Jets. Like I feel like any QB could go out and throw 272 yards on 73% completion against the Jets.
Mhm. So I guess my main takeaway from this game is that I think the Titans knocked the sense back into him. I think that's something that needs to be thought about. It's like maybe the Titans truly like had his brain bobbing around in his head, just or pinballing around back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to where now just something random clicked and his wires are organized and in the right places and all the neurons are firing exactly how they should, because before he was playing football like he was under the influence of shrooms.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're onto something with that one. Like getting, I don't know, getting beaten around by the. But now that the Titans don't have Derrick Henry, what are they? But I guess it's like they don't have him now, so maybe. But I don't know. I've never been in Carson Wentz's camp, and I'll just say still not.
Yeah,
Even though you made a strong case.
because my biggest thing was like, okay, I know for sure that Carson Wentz's brain is at least a little bit at least a little bit healed, but a majority of my thought process is I think he's just sober. That's where I'm at, because last week we had the infamous double pump on the screen pass. Gets it into his left hand, throws a little hook shot for a pick six. But now this week we had, and it was like in the third quarter, and I think it was like maybe 42-10. It was when it was a blowout before the Jets failed to have an all-time backdoor.
Anyways, I was
gonna say, anyways, we'll address that. We'll address that.
Okay.
But yeah. So third quarter 42-10. He had another double pump on a screen pass, but this time it worked, and it was to Michael Pittman. He noticed there was nothing there at first, waited a second, pumped, and got it to him, and it ended up being like a 30-yard completion. It was run to a T.
Yeah, it was probably what he in his mind envisioned happening last time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got out the error last time, and now it worked this time.
Mm-hmm. So he's really good when he only sees 11 people on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, and they're also in the same place that everybody else sees those 11 people.
Yeah, that's how he needs to play every game. He needs to treat every down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we got to talk about the Jets. So rest in peace, Mike White. You lived from 2021 to 2021.
Yeah, I mean, and look, we texted about this. I'm probably not the first person to come up with this, but the Jets are like the backup paradox. Like, whenever the Jets like start, always ends up either getting hurt or not being good, and then the backup comes in and like actually ends up looking really good, but it's like you can never start the backup because then he's not the backup. So it's like if you play the backup and he's good, but you can't start him next week, so you have to bring him in as the backup again. They are the backup paradox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at this point you just have to sign Christian Hackenberg.
Yeah, that I think that would work out well.
Mm-hmm. Look, sign Christian Hackenberg. Maybe go back to little Ryan, or in the offseason, sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, get them on the team, and wait for them to get hurt. Draft a rookie in the 6th round, or an undrafted free agent, or maybe a guy who's even an undrafted free agent like 2017, 2018, like Mike White, and let them cook. But you have to have them come into the game. That's the key.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe bring in Phillip Rivers.
Look, I saw that idea floating around on the internet.
Yeah, I heard when he said he would answer the phone if the Saints called. I was like, I would rather have Trevor Siemian.
Well, I mean, what does that mean? Well, because my favorite thing is like he would answer the phone, but would he actually be so inclined to take all the beatings that he said he wanted to walk away from with football?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, but
well, and I think
I would not want Phillip Rivers on my team right now.
And don't quote me on this. I think he's a flip phone guy. So don't you automatically just answer the phone if you have a flip phone, because you can't see,
you don't know who's calling you. Yeah, exactly. Have to answer if you want to know who's calling.
Exactly. So in the case, and I might be wrong, I probably am thinking of Andrew Luck, but in the case that he does have a flip phone, he will answer the call because you can't notice that you don't see the caller ID.
Yeah. So when he said that, yeah, it's like, well, you kind of have to answer the phone.
Yeah, don't be a dick. Imagine Sean Payton calling you and you say, I'm good. Let it go to voicemail.
Okay, one last thing on this. What popped into my head as soon as Jameis went down was Breeze reunion.
I mean, I'm sure that's what everybody wants until it's a classic thing of like everybody wants a Corvette until they actually purchase one and they realize that they're going to have to take it to the shop every other week.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Breeze. Oh, the more I thought about it, but yeah, just maybe the Jets should sign Phillip Rivers, let him start for a little bit, let Zach Wilson back up, and then once Phillip Rivers is ready to get hurt or ready to start sucking, Zach Wilson will be the answer.
Because we also have to mention because like while we're on the topic of Jets backup QBs, Josh Johnson was fucking slinging it all over the place. The Colts legitimately were pretty close to blowing we're not even to the game, but definitely close to blowing the spread. I mean, very close, literally 6 yards away from blowing a spread. And at one point, they were up 42-16, and the Jets all came all the way back to a one possession game. They score, the Jets score, then they cover.
Yeah, I mean, and then an onside kick, and stranger things have happened. You know, strange things have happened. So Johnson looked really good for them. 317 yards, touchdowns, the one pick at the end, but it was kind of like a tip drill thing, and so he looked really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was cruising down the whole time, but it was also kind of funny because he got one pick that actually was a pick, but he threw 3 picks in total.
He threw 3 picks in the same position. Only one of them counted as a pick.
Mm-hmm. So thank God for that. I mean, I had Jets plus 10.5, and that was an absolute dagger at the end. But I came away with that being like, the problem with the Jets is the problem that we didn't think we would have with them, which is their defense. Okay, well, now it's like their defense, which looked pretty solid. Like, he had to have one good takeaway from the Jets, it would be their defense. Well, now the defense really crapped the bed.
Yeah, I mean, 260 yards on the ground. Jonathan Taylor, man, what a game from him. And I know you can boggle it all down to one run, but not really, because 19 carries, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. They were running all over the place. Like, it was a very evenly balanced offense. They had 272 in the air and 260 on the ground, the Colts. So not a great defensive showing from the Jets at all.
No, and they hit once they got 261 rush yards in the third quarter, they set the single season record, or not single season record, but the most any team has had this year. And so literally without 15 minutes of football.
Yeah, props to the O-line. The Colts, I feel like, are always known for having a good O-line. Like, is that just me, or is it like you think of good O-lines in football, the Colts are always up there?
They're like the Big Ten of the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Never good enough to win the college football playoff or to win the Super Bowl, but they're always going to win the trenches.
Great O-line.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get to our cards. So I'll let you kick things off.
Right. So I made a remark beforehand about the Giants, about how it was a stat about how the Jets scored 30 points in their game this year, but the Giants haven't scored 30 points in a game since like December of last year. But I'm actually taking the Giants money line over the Raiders this weekend. I think, look, we talked about it beforehand, say much, but this is going to be an emotional Raiders team. The Giants are coming off a game against the Chiefs that you could argue they should have won that. They could have won that game.
Definitely.
And they shot themselves in the foot a lot against the Chiefs. So I think the Giants look like a decent team right now, and I like them to beat the Raiders this weekend.
See, I would have the opposite side of this, because I think it's very strange, but the Raiders actually are better when they're under a ton of turmoil and stress.
That's true. After the whole Gruden thing.
Yeah, I think they're literally built different in the worst way possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. This is really different. Obviously, what Gruden did was awful, but like losing a player like this is really, especially Ruggs is a certified starter. So I think it's going to be a really emotional game for them, and I think they might kind of just get a little too emotionally worked. I think the Giants win that game.
Yeah. The Giants looked really good. I'll be honest, the Giants looked really good against it. I mean, I still have the Raiders, and this is my game where I'd see if the Raiders could put up with all the horrible things that they've gone to. That's really not on the team's. I mean, it is on the team's fault, but like, you know what I mean? Just
right.
Like, like there's always a team that gets hit with the untimely bullshit event. I keep on saying bullshit.
Scandals. Really, they always get the scandals or the
scandals and
off the field drama,
Yeah, there we go. Off the field drama. The Raiders were that team this year. So I do think this is my game where I'll see if they're able to gut it out. It sounds so bad that I'm just like alluding to all these travesties, and I'm saying hopefully they could gut it out. But as far as the Giants go, they were very close. They were very close. And I think Kadarius Toney is a stud. He's like one of at least my favorite players, and maybe my favorite from the rookie class. I don't know. I love watching him play. Just speed demon, and the way he talks. He's from he's from Florida. And it's like, for me, when it comes to accents, it's like Orthodox Jew from New York, and then a little bit below that, it's Florida.
Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind, the Giants had the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to win the game. If it wasn't for that sack that Daniel Jones took and then sacked again on fourth down, like I said, they kind of themselves in the foot, they might go on and win that game. So I think the Giants are better than their 2-6 record holds, even without, they're without like Galladay and they're without Barkley for now. So it's like, I think they're good. I don't know if I want to call them good. They're better than their record shows. That's how I would describe the Giants.
That's fair. All right. And then for my first pick, I have Browns and Bengals. Bengals -2.5. I mean, it's pretty easy why. It makes a lot of sense why I'm trying to go this route, because the OBJ story is so bad that I don't know how a team could recover for this. I will play a little bit of devil's advocate and go against myself and just say he's been a non-factor all year. So what's a little bit more of OBJ and Baker Mayfield sucking?
Yeah, no, it's funny that you mention it. This was my pick, and this was one of mine, and I was saving this for last because I think that Bengals -2.5 is like the lock. Like I think at home, the Browns have lost 3 of their last 4 games, and their win in that stretch was against who is now a bad Denver team. Started out like 3-0, and everyone was like, this is the worst 3-0 team of all time. Now we're seeing Denver for what they are. So fully on your side of this one.
Mm-hmm. Hilarious quote from OBJ, hilarious quote from anonymous Browns player on OBJ. He does nothing. He talks to no one. He's just got a malcontent attitude. Okay, well, when did Baker Mayfield change his name to Browns player?
Yeah, this sounds like something Baker Mayfield would have said if he went on the Colin Cowherd show, which I mean, he did go on the Colin Cowherd. It's a great video if you haven't seen it. Colin Cowherd hates Baker Mayfield. So.
Oh yeah, no, I was all dialed in on Cowherd's rant about Mayfield this go around. Oh, he had a great rant. He said he doesn't know how. He said, so the thing is with Baker Mayfield is that he doesn't realize that how to handle guys who run hot. Tom Brady, he knows AB runs a little hot. Dak Prescott, he knows that Des Bryant ran a little hot. Tom Brady also with Randy Moss, he knew that he ran hot. See, they know how to cool it back. All time Cowherd rant. But I don't even know, because I don't hate Baker. There's a lot of people who do. I've never really hated Baker. I thought the shit he did in college was fucking hilarious. I think he has a great story. I mean, it was cool. Okay, minus the DUI. Kind of tough for that one.
Yeah.
Or I think it was public intoxication.
Yeah, public intoxication, okay. And
right,
probably public indecency too.
Oh, that's fine. As long as you didn't show your junk, then I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Totally kidding. Wow. Hopefully that does not come back to bite me. But yeah, don't show your junk or just be a dickhead when you're drunk in public. But but back to the OBJ thing, his dad posting a video of all the times that he was open and wasn't thrown to is, you're just pulling out everything. And remember when Kevin Garnett was like, we're pulling out AK-47s, like semis, everything. In that one playoff series. But it's pretty much what he's doing. Because then he also has LeBron tweeting out and like Dame tweeting out, free OBJ.
Free OBJ.
He's not locked up. He's not fucking Akon.
I know it's not. Yeah, like come on. Like I think OBJ's career. I've been in this camp for a while. I think OBJ's career was made off of one catch. And
I gotta battle that though, because he put up some incredible stats, multiple 1,000-yard seasons in a row, could absolutely change the game. But he's a diva. I mean, let's just be honest.
He is a diva, yeah.
I saved the diva word for situations like this because I don't think everybody's a diva. I wouldn't even say LeBron's a diva, but Okay, he's a debatable diva, but we know for
Okay.
sure that like OBJ is a diva. Like the other day, I was listening to Life of Pablo, and it kind of brought me back to when he and Josh Norman had that crazy feud with each other, and OBJ was trying to spear Josh Norman.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That when Josh Norman was on the Redskins?
No, that
Or
was
I'm
when he was on
sorry,
the
the football
Panthers.
team.
Yeah, no, he was
There's
on the
okay.
Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much the peak of both of those guys. But yeah, so I mean we've all seen hints of it, and now we're just kind of seeing it come to fruition. And look, it's not that Baker wasn't throwing to him. Baker was also like, yes, there was times where he was open, he wasn't throwing to him, but you could clip up a bunch of receivers where that's happening. But Baker kind of just wasn't like just hasn't been great this season. So it's not a thing of Baker doesn't like him. Like he's been trying to throw to him. The balls just haven't been where he wants them to be.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think OBJ, I think scenery will do him good, but that's also last time. Like, that's what we said when he was on the Giants and he wasn't getting along with was it Eli still there when that whole thing happened? Yeah, he wasn't getting along with Eli. So I don't know. I don't want to call him a lost cause, but I think he might be a lost cause.
I don't even know. I think you just have to put him on a team that sucks and has literally no expectations whatsoever. So then we could get the narrative. So he could ball out. Then we get the narrative going again that he's on a team that doesn't reward him for being good. There's no success around him, so he has to do everything on his own. And then he's going to get put on a team that's kind of burgeoning, has playoff hopes, and then that team starts to suck. And then that'll be in the end of his career because he's not like young by any means.
No, he's not young at all.
I mean, it's probably been 70. Okay, so I was in 8th grade when he made the catch. And that was kind of a long time ago. So it's not like a Calvin Ridley situation or just like a second-year receiver who's absolutely incredible, like a Michael Pittman. No, like he's not green behind the ears anymore.
He's 29. Wow.
Yeah, so
that's older than I thought.
He's lucky if he's in the NFL within 6 or 7 years. That shit just doesn't happen.
I'm trying to find how many years he's been in the league. Okay, he's been in the league since 2014. So he's 29. 7. So 7. Man. Yeah. For some reason I had him younger than that, but
it feels like that.
Because it feels like he kind of had years where he was irrelevant. Yeah. It's like now that he's in the news again, it's like, oh, he's only been in the league for like 4 years because, there was that period where he was just kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then just with the Bengals, I think major bounce back.
I agree.
Bounce back. I'm ready for Joe Burrow to sling it.
Joe Burrow, talk about rookies. I love Jamar Chase.
He's rookie of the year.
Absolutely.
If season end today, rookie of the year, no doubt about it. He shows you that if you're fast enough, all you have to do is just run straight. And you'll catch balls and make billions of dollars in the NFL.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. That's going to be a really fun team to watch going forward. They're young, like their receivers, I feel like are young. They got a good young QB.
Yeah.
Bengals are going places.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So then do you want to shoot your next pick?
Yeah.
I mean, because that will be your last one. Cause
this will be my last one here. Look, this is my favorite matchup of the week. And when I say it, you're going to be like, what? But then I'm going to add to it.
Aaron Rodgers versus vaccines.
Okay. This is my second favorite match of the week. My favorite game of the week is Texans Dolphins. I'm sorry. I would rather watch 2 1-7 teams versus 2 7-1. I'm sorry. Like I would. Like a shit show of action. This is the MAC of the NFL. Like 2 1-7 teams going head to head is shit that I live for. So, and I'm under 46. Like I'm all in on this game being an absolute shit show of a game. These are the 2 worst teams in football. I'm relying on this being just dumb MAC level, just lefty Tua going like for 400 yards, but throwing like 3 picks and 3 touchdowns. Ty God Taylor, like I don't know. I can't wait for this game. I'm so excited.
Honestly, I will have to text. I mean, now that since you have a vested interest game, Fuck it. I think it was very close too. I think it was Texans -1.5 or Dolphins +1.5.
Right now it's Dolphins. Oh, well, that's ESPN. I don't know what it is on Bovada, but right now it's Dolphins -5.5 on ESPN.
Oh, fuck it. I'm going Texans +5.5. The only caveat is if I find out that Tyrod Taylor was punctured in the chest with a needle, then I will gladly cash out.
Okay, yeah, I'm rocking the under. I have a feeling that's going to be like a 23-20 final score with like 5 or 6 total turnovers. That's just going to be some dumb football.
Dude, I might even take that back. You know what? I think, yeah, I'll ride that pick with you.
You'll ride the under?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll punch my ticket in once we're done.
All right, love it.
Okay. I already forgot. Okay, Texans Dolphins under 46.
Texans Dolphins under, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Fuck yeah. That should be just dumb. I think
because there's 2 different types of dumb football. There's, like I mention it all the time, this is the perfect way to describe the Big 12. There's dumb, there's no defense, just pure offense. Like Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield once combined for like what, 1,800 yards in a game. Do you remember that game?
The final I don't think it was 1,800, but I think it was close. I don't
it
think
was in
both
the ballpark.
of them had 900 yards.
It was like a game where they both threw for like 500 or 600 yards. It was like 68-60 final score. And then there's dumb football where players are going to have butt fumbles. Quarterbacks are going to double pump fake, throw it with their left hand and float and intercept. Like it's going to like,
well, that's just going to be Tua.
Exactly. There's going to be dumb football. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for that game.
Honestly, I kind of glossed over that when I was going through, but yeah, fuck it. Tag me in.
All right. I love that pick.
All right, sweet. So then your picks are Bengals -2.5, Giants money line, and then
Texans Dolphins under 46. Yeah, that's my card for the weekend.
Cool. All right, then we'll round out with my two picks. So first, Falcons Saints under 42.
I think I agree. I think I agree.
It's very low. I mean, this is, I think, besides the Bears Monday night game later this week, I believe that this is the lowest point total so far. But man, I don't really see either of these teams lighting shit up, and especially now with the backup QB for the Saints, Trevor Siemian. We saw that he's not really that good. We saw he's really, I mean, what I say last week, the keys were to get sacked and not lose, and to get sacked in a normal way and just plop down. Don't spin backwards when you're getting sacked. And don't throw picks. And I think he'll be able to do that. But then also, I think the Saints offense will just revolve around handing the ball off and just running. I think they're just going to start to try and run out the clock as soon as the game starts.
Yeah, I think I like that one as well. If Taysom Hill, here's an interesting one. If Taysom Hill is cleared to play and starts, does that change your mind?
I don't think so. I think it just reinvigorates how they're literally just going to keep the ball between the hashes. I don't think there will be any. I think it will be more. I think a rarity will see something come within like 5 feet of the numbers.
Yeah, this is going to be the Kamara Ingram show, I think.
Now, the only part that really worries me, though, is the amount of pick sixes Matt Ryan will throw. That's honestly what worries me, because the Saints showed last week that they have good pick six luck. If they repeat that same luck against Matt Ryan, who's been known to throw a few flying ducks, then yeah, I'm kind of fucked.
I was also going to say, I don't know if we touched on this last Sunday, but no Calvin Ridley for the Falcons, at least going forward. So that's their best weapon offensively taken away.
And now it's going to, because now it might be a little bit for the better. Obviously for him, it's going to be for the best, but it might be for the best for the offense as well, because now you get to focus on Kyle Pitts and develop him. Now, I don't know if that's going to mean that he gets covered every play, which I hope so.
He'll be covered by Marshawn Lattimore now is probably what that means.
Yeah, so he'll get number one treatment, which is a great test to see, okay, well, how good are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. I love whenever Marshawn Lattimore covers tight ends. I feel like he's always a guy to throw hands no matter what, but more so when he's guarding someone who's like twice his size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just a couple quick things on the Falcons, because I'm also like, I realize that I'm picking it because of Trevor Siemian, and just without Jameis, I just don't know if they'll be able to move the ball down the field the same way. But for the Falcons, so things are a little bad. Like, things are bad for the Falcons when head coach Arthur Smith said on Monday, so he said this Monday, this morning, I got irritated with it along with a lot of other things. And she said, fucking shaved his beard. If you're getting irritated with your beard, chances are that it's not the beard that you're getting irritated with. It's probably the football team you're coaching.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. The beard has nothing to do with it. The beard is just the fall guy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The beard is
Larry Rothschild.
Yeah, that's like the name I couldn't think of.
Padres pitching coach.
Yep.
But yeah, as soon as, if you're a guy, and I'm in that phase with the hair on top of my head, but with facial hair, if you don't know what you want to do week after week after week, it is grueling, and you're like I think therefore I am. No, you are proving that completely wrong, because you feel like you're not even a human being. Yes, you are thinking, but you don't even know if you are an object, because you're so confused and have no certainty about your facial hair.
Yeah, and if your football team makes you feel that way, that kind of says it all.
Because that means it's really, also another thing is that, like, when do you look at your facial hair and like really look at and study it? Usually when you're looking in the mirror. I think he's another, I looked in the mirror, need to look in the mirror after this loss kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Well, because that's what every coach says when they lose, is I need to look in the mirror. So imagine being confused about your football team when you look in the mirror, and being confused about how your face looks.
It's a double whammy.
Yeah. And then I think the Falcons at this point are just trying to kill Matt Ryan. So he's averaging 38 attempts per game, puts him on pace for 658 this year. His career high is 651, and that came in 2013.
Wow.
So he's literally just trying to, they're just trying to kill him and say, well, it's not our fault that he has to have a shoulder replacement. And they're like, well, because he has to have a shoulder replacement, then we want nothing to do with him.
Yeah, and the Saints defense is, not to be a biased fan, but really freaking good. They really are a good defense. And like they showed in that Seahawks game, they know how to get to the quarterback. I mean, Demario Davis is an absolute, like I don't know how that guy does it. He's just constantly so good, and they have a good. And so I think Matt Ryan's going to get bullied. But then I also think on the other side of the ball, where are the Saints going to get offense from outside of Kamara, at least?
Ingram, but that's literally it.
Yeah, I guess
like a random Taysom 3-yard run where he runs over 3 linebackers.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. That's a low total, though. I might be inclined to go over just because that's a low total, but
I know.
I get your points, and I see where you're coming from.
I mean, there's a reason why it's that low in the first place.
Yeah. Vegas knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then to round it out, Chargers at Eagles. I got Eagles money line. Mm-hmm. I believe it was Chargers minus 2.5. And you know what? I gotta say this. I mean, Eagles looked great last week. It looks like they're knowing what they're doing with the running game. Once again, just like we're talking about with the Jets, a little bit of caveat because they're playing the Lions. Back to the Chargers. They just don't look like the same team that they were during the 3-game winning streak. You're like, oh, wow, damn, they beat the Chiefs. And then they beat the Raiders. And they had the crazy shootout with the Browns. The offense doesn't look the same as it did during those games. And I said, oh, well, the game against the Ravens, we could throw that out. But maybe there was kind of a little bit of signs saying that, hey, this might continue going forward. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it on here before. I'm a Saints fan, but also I like the Chargers. Like I've always been a believer in the Chargers. When they had Phillip Rivers, I thought, man, they wasted like a really good quarterback. And now that they have Justin Herbert, like he looks generational, and I'm fearing that they're going to fall into that same hole again, where it's like going to waste in Herbert, because I bought in on them during that 3-game win streak, like you said, but now I kind of want to cash out and put my money somewhere else.
It's hard because it's only a 2-game losing streak, but man, all of a sudden you're like, wait, are the Raiders going to be the first in the AFC West? because
Yeah,
because after after they beat the Chiefs, it's like, okay, maybe the Raiders could float in the wild card race, but we know for sure that the Chargers are the best team in this division. And that was that. They proved that they already beat the reigning AFC West champs from the previous 3 years. So look, this is their division. It's their destiny has come for Justin Herbert. Finally, that they have a QB who's good, that they can stack talent around, and also put all that shit in motion towards making a big Super Bowl run.
Mhm.
I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I think this is an interesting game. So we're talking about how a season could go two different ways. This is a great game of an example like that.
Yeah. And it's like you said, they lost a couple games in a row here now. And it's not like, losing 2 in a row, that's not necessarily a big deal. But when you start the season 4-1, and sure, you lose that 6th game, you go to 4-2, but then you come off of a bye week and fall flat against a Patriots team that's, let's face it, isn't great. And everyone's like, uh-oh, here comes Bill Belichick. No, I'm sorry. The Patriots aren't great. And they go into a stretch here now where they play the Eagles this week, the Purple Purgatory Viking. They play the Steelers and then the Broncos and then the Bengals. So I think this 5-game stretch will make or break the Chargers season.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, that's where I'm at. And then just wrapping up with the Eagles, I just think they get a little something going, just a little. I think out of all these games, as far as like games I'm most looking forward to, obviously Bengals and Browns on top, but I have this second because I want to see because heading into the season, love Jalen Hurts, thought that he was going to be amazing. Well, now we've seen him kind of progress, but then he's been just up and down where he's not horrible, but he's not great. So this is what I want to see. Once again, Jalen Hurts, what are you? Please just tell me what you are so I will know to bet against you or bet on you. So that's what I want to see, is that once again, it's is Jalen Hurts actually this guy who could put wins together because he knows how to be smart with the ball and make plays with his feet?
Yeah. And usually in the NFC, I call it the NFC least. That's what I've called it for the longest time. Usually in the NFC East,
Beast.
If you're 3-5, there's a good chance you're 1 game behind. But Dallas is good.
Mm-hmm.
Is good this year. Dallas is a good team. As much as I hate to say it, let's face it, they're going to win that division. Outside of the top 5 teams in the NFC, those last 2 wildcard spots are up for grabs. And if you're Philly, you need to be 4-5 rather than 3-6.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you're the Chargers, you can afford, I guess, to fall to 4-4, but you can't afford to fall to 3-6. So I bet you Philly is coming into this game thinking this is our season right here.
Yeah.
So they may have a little extra motivation looking at the standings.
Yeah, definitely. All right. You got anything else?
I got one question.
Yeah.
Are you going to watch the Hard Knocks about the Colts during the season? Are you in or out on that?
There's a Hard Knocks on the Colts. This is the first I've heard of it.
Did you not see the trailer when you were watching the game? Was that a bathroom break?
Oh yeah, I had to be pissing.
November, I think 17th. It's the first ever Hard Knocks season for the actual regular season. It's about the Colts. Follows the Colts. It drops on HBO.
I will have to watch the first season and then make my opinion on whether it's worth it to watch from there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to watch the first episode, see how it is. And since it's about the Colts, that's a really boring team to start with. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to watch the first episode and make a judgment based on that.
Yeah, because Carson Wentz isn't exactly an eccentric personality.
If Hard Knocks couldn't make Dak, Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons and Mike McCarthy interesting for more than one episode,
Ben DiNucci
interesting for more than 1.5 episodes, I don't know how they're going to do it with Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor.
Just guys who great players, but I wouldn't. I'd be excited to see Michael Pittman for the USC connection, yeah. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. They got to. Talk about bringing out all the big guns. They got to bring out everything for that first episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. All right, so that'll wrap up episode 45. Holy shit, 45 episodes.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. If you would like to follow myself on Instagram and Twitter, you can find me at Matt120. If you'd like to follow Edward on Instagram and Twitter, you can find him at Edward_Bento. But we have no care in the world, or no clue in the world who we are or anything we want to talk about. Just don't give two shits. Then make sure to follow OK Takes on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at OK Takes Pod. That is OKAY Takes Pod. OKAY Takes Pod. It's 2 seconds and will help us tremendously. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.